Hey everyone, I'm Nathan, and I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom recently. I was actually planning a whole video around it because I really wanted to draw Riju. But then a storm hit Georgia and my power went out, and a brand new craze hit the internet. It's Grimace's birthday! You've probably seen this trend going around, but in case you haven't, basically people take videos trying the new Grimace milkshake, followed by a smash cut to some weird, creepy paranormal activity that implies that drinking the milkshake causes disasters to anyone who partaked of the forbidden drink. So I packed up that Zelda video for next week, and we're doing the Grimace Milkshake Challenge Drawfee style. In my research, my favorite videos were the ones that took place at night, so I decided to set this illustration at a park. At nighttime because I felt like that would just have this really creepy undertow. As for the subject matter, if you've been around Drawfee long enough, you probably have seen where I'm going with this, but I've decided to use Ronald McNormalman, or Ronald McDonald. I think he's referred to as both in the video, but he's essentially a character that was created by Karina during the video where the Drawfee gang reinterpreted restaurant mascots. So I have always been very infatuated with this design, and this is the perfect moment to take all these characters out of retirement. But I didn't want anyone to be the person actually drinking the shake because the implication is that person would be found dead, or possessed, or just very much not okay and needs to go to the hospital. So I also found this comic in my research, which is from February 2017. And in this comic, which is on the official Drawfee Twitter, so it is canon, we meet Ronald's father and we understand that they have a very tumultuous relationship. And I just felt that this is so important for his character arc. So I decided to include Ronald's father in this image, and I believe it adds this level of depth. Because even though they have disagreements and they don't get along, no son wants to discover their father in this state. Like, it's not okay. This comic is also interesting because it sort of implies there's a romantic relationship happening between Grimace and Ronald. I cannot confirm nor deny if that is still the case or if this is from the distant past, but it definitely adds another layer to the problem. Like, they discovered the dad totally messed up with only Grimace shake on him, and where is Grimace? The questions keep piling up and no answers are coming. I also took a little bit of inspiration from a third-party source that wasn't Drawfee. Back in 2015, in the age of my youth, Natasha Allegri ruled the internet. If you don't know her, she is the artist behind Bee and Puppy Cat, which you can watch on Netflix, but she got her start on Cartoon Network during Adventure Time, where she was the creator of Fiona and Cake. So her fan art was on her Tumblr page and it was all over Instagram, and I just remember I was like literally obsessed with everything that she would draw, and she created this image of the McDonald's mascots but like reinterpreted as speed racers. Oh my gosh, the colors are fantastic. I love Early Bird. I love this weird clown motorcycle helmet or race car helmet. I just really love the vibes of this piece. So I took a lot of fashion inspiration from it. Specifically for Ronald, I just wanted him in this racer outfit. When fusing Early Bird for both Karina's version and Natasha's version, Natasha made her much younger, which does make sense, but I wanted to go with Karina's more, they're all teenagers or young adults that work at a McDonald's vibe. So I took a lot more inspiration from the Barbie movie, but I did keep the pattern for those shoes because I do notoriously struggle with shoes. So any like pre-made design that can give me some help, I'll take the bone when it is thrown to me. Thank you very much. So we've already moved on to the inking, and I'm doing Ronald's face, and you totally just saw me struggling with the foreshortening on that arm. It was a little difficult, but in the end, I'm very proud with the perspective of this piece. We are still very far from the finished product, but I was really happy with how this piece came out, especially because when I was doing my Zelda piece, it didn't come fully formed the way that I wanted it to. Most of the time, I don't stop an illustration until it matches the thing in my head that I originally conceived. And it just never really got to that point, but this illustration did. I was kind of worried for a second, but we were able to get there in the end. I do struggle a bit doing several different redrawings of the Hamburglar Boys face because Karina gave him like no chin, like it's this very square head. And I did really enjoy that. So I had to very much lean into it. And the way I did that was by having him face directly the camera. I couldn't really figure out his 3/4 view. But as soon as I made him turn his head a little bit, it all started fitting into place. I completely blitzed through Birdie. I really enjoy her design. I gave her sort of that aviator aesthetic from Natasha's drawing, but keeping the design that Karina made that I enjoy oh so much. I didn't include that earring though. I should have included the earring. Ronald's father was really fun to draw because of how impossibly bent over the swing set he is. Having him passed out in this very impossible, almost inhuman pose really added, I think, to the whole creep factor of the overall piece. It's really interesting. I tend to gravitate towards very sweet and wholesome stories, but whenever I'm illustrating, people always love when I lean into horror more. I don't know, am I Junji Ito where I'm just like all rainbows, but my art is very disturbing? I always wanted to be Miyazaki, but perhaps I'm not jaded enough yet. As soon as I finish drawing Ronald's hand, we're about to dive into coloring out the flats, which is pretty simple. I'm pretty sure I just color picked from Karina's piece, and I didn't think outside the box too much. Because the Hamburglar boy's outfit is a little different, I had to like come up with that gray color, but that wasn't so thinking outside the box. What was kind of difficult was choosing the flats for Ronald's father, because the original piece is set at this very vivid sunset through a window kind of color scheme. So when I was trying to figure out what his flats would be, just neutrally, I was like, well, Ronald has really bright red hair, so his father is older than him, which means he probably has some grays. So I went with this like neutrally pink, and then I just made him a little tanner than his son, and that's what I decided to do. I also am obsessed with how Birdie came out. I have been waiting and just every single day, like just trying to crawl out of bed to get to July 20th or 21st for the Barbie movie to come out. I want to watch it so bad. I'm obsessed with Greta Gerwig. I want all things Barbie all the time right now. I'm gay. Hey, how are you? But yeah, so when I was doing this outfit, there's like this rodeo Barbie outfit that leaked from the movie, and that was like the inspiration for Birdie's outfit. And that rodeo outfit had stars on like her bell bottoms, but instead I did this sort of abstraction of the McDonald's arches for Birdie's pants. I just thought that was really cute, and I really love her scarf, and she's just so cool. And I also like the character decision that Birdie has a flashlight. Like, she has an actual flashlight, whereas the Hamburglar just has his little like camera flashlight out, and it's not even bright. And I just thought that said so much about their characters that she was like, yeah, I have a flashlight. There's also a truck in this image, and I think Ronald drives like a sports car. I think we're kind of going with that sort of a vibe because he is in this racer outfit. So I think this truck belongs to Birdie, and maybe it's her father's truck, but I just think it's really practical, and I like the idea of her driving such a very useful utilitarian vehicle. I'm finishing up laying in the flat values for the background. I've been watching a lot of Steven Universe. In fact, I binged the entire series, so I'm thinking a lot about those backgrounds. I'm thinking a lot about Sleeping Beauty and just the own limitations of my style. When I was drawing these trees, I'm very proud with how they turned out. I think they look absolutely fabulous. I was a little nervous at first. Like, if you go and pause the video, you can see I was using some stamps and pre-made trees, but I put on my big boy britches and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna draw the trees. And I always forget that I really do love drawing twisting, gnarling trunks and branches. It's actually very fun. But you always forget that because it is difficult. And when something is difficult and fun, it's hard to remember the fun part of it. They just add that extra layer of creepy that I think is so necessary for this piece. And yeah, it was a little challenging picking colors for this nighttime piece because I wanted to avoid this very stereotypical monochromatic shades of blue. Like, I wanted it to look a little more realistic. I wanted it to feel like a photograph you would have taken with your phone that's like blurry and hazy and everything is kind of off kilter. That's really the vibe that I was going for. Oh my gosh, I can't get over these like square trees. That was the Sleeping Beauty influence. I really thought about making them that abstracted, but they didn't really work with all of this beautiful 3-point perspective that I was kind of doing with the swing and the playground equipment. So I ended up making them more naturalistic, which I think was a good thing. But maybe in another world, I could have made that work. We are currently in these colors are way too dark and close in value era. Give it some time. I'm gonna add the lighting on top of everything. And I'm also gonna add a bunch of noise and textures to kind of add the depth that I need. I think the most illuminating part of the process was I realized I needed to have a little bit of backlighting in between the playground and the faraway trees, and that really elevated the piece and added that last bit of depth that I really felt helped this piece be successful. I knew I wanted this truck bed nearby. I knew I wanted to have this like very harsh red lights sort of be the light source of the entire piece, but I always wanted the focal point to be on Ronald and his friends and his father who got grimaced. And I didn't include Grimace in this piece, and I did that on purpose. I felt like I could have put him in the background, but every time I sort of picture that in my mind, it was kind of silly, and I really wanted to keep the scary aspect of the image. And with monsters, they're always scarier when you can't see them or you don't know they're there. And sort of that mystery is why I think the Grimace Milkshake Challenge works really well. I don't like the ones where people, like, no one's really doing, oh, Grimace comes out and beats me up. Like, that's not the thing. It's you drink this milkshake and then mysteriously bad things happen to you. So I think it's very apparent that that's where the horror comes from, is the not knowing, the why is this happening. So I abstained from having Grimace in the piece, and I felt like that just made everything so much stronger, especially because Ronald is like looking off the picture plane. So is he looking at Grimace? Is he looking out trying to find him? What does he see? What is he looking at? Especially because both of his friends are more concerned with, oh my gosh, we found your father and he's passed out, and oh, I found this like cup of a Grimace milkshake. What's going on? So we're at the moments right before the horror really gets bad, I feel like. Anyway, this is the finished illustration. It was so much fun. Have you tasted the Grimace shake? I did, and it was delicious. It tasted like a blueberry pie. I was expecting it to be much more artificial, but it was really good. And I didn't turn into a zombie, or did I? You don't see my face. Let me know in the comments down below your favorite of my design mashups that I did. Let me know what you think of this piece, and yeah, feel free to give this video a like, subscribe, and if you really want to support the channel, check me out on Patreon, link in the description, where for just like $4 you can have your name in the end credits. And speaking of end credits, here they are now. Special thanks to Anna SB, Axilius the Great, Blurryface EXE, Blue Uwu, K Clark, Christopher, Crystal NM, Dabadoodoo, Dax Quinn, MOE, Fro, Game of Catan on IG, Grey Gay Mothman, Gay Jairus, Haru the Moo, J Johar, JD Boy 2000, Lucky Paradox, Melon, Mild Mothman, Native Runner, Orion Amastasia, Pinecone, Poopy Tom, Prance, Redward, Rin, Scorching Ray, Sir Camelot, Smalls the Sax Jammer, Shenanigans, Thumper Daytime, Tortilla Chip, Tony, Tarthalinor, Tuesdays Anyways, Tad the Turtle, Tundra Katie Bean, and Tuppence Pies. My name is Nathan. I upload a new video every weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye!